Recording, Deepti ji.
Ah, I'll have to otherwise stop this again. I'll
Okay, you
take
can
it
take
down.
from Facebook.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding though. Okay. Anybody wants to chant with me? Oh, okay. Today, let me also again do it alone. One line again with the meaning so that we are reinforcing along with it and doing it as a prayer. Om Sahana Vavatu. May we both be protected by that supreme force, power, being. Sahanao Bhunaktu. May we both be nourished by that supreme Purusha and we enjoy what the transaction is to take place. Saha Viryam Karavavahai. May we both put in our best capacities, study, to understand, communicate, and may He enrich us that capacity. May our samarthyam to absorb the knowledge, to understand the knowledge, and to abide in it keep increasing because of the grace. Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Whatever we study, may it enlighten us, may it make us brilliant from within, may it shine in us, may it be clear to us, and may that clarity translate in us into our own life and understanding. Ma vidvishavahai. May we both not hate each other, dislike each other, or just have false arguments. May the communication not be distasteful. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May that supreme force, power, keep all our pratibandhakas, our obstacles that can come in the way of our absorption of knowledge from any of the three sources, those that are not in our control, those that are immediate in our surroundings and still not really fully in our control, and those that come from within ourselves. May there be quietude at all those three levels. So, somebody wants to chant this?
I can do it. Shall I start? Om Sahana Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahavi Tejasvina Tu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you. So we start the class. Continuing from where we were last week. We are in the text of Upadesa Sara, written by Ramana Maharishi. We saw the context in the last class, and the main point here was that Ramana starts with the first word kartuhu in the first mantra verse, and kartuhu is a very specific word. The first two verses of this text are addressing the karmakandis, the karmathas, who are belonging to a particular set of thinking people. They think like that, a group of people who think like that, and those group of people are called Purva Mimamsakas. Now here, before I move on, I want us all to register that Purva Mimamsaka as a school, even if I forget the word Purva Mimamsaka, it doesn't matter. What is to be picked up from here is the kind of thinking that it represents. Purva Mimamsaka is just a name of a group of thinkers जो ऐसा सोचता है. Like, it's a technical term. Like, for example, supposing someone says today that all that there is birth and death. Everything else is very uncertain in life. Between birth and death, just enjoy your life completely and, make all experiences to yourself. Enjoy yourself fully. Eat, drink, be merry. And don't worry, you carry no debts with you. You can borrow also. You can do anything. There is nothing like right or wrong. जो आपके मन को अच्छा लगता है, आप वो करो. And let nobody tell you anything at all. You are an individual. You have your own rights. You have your own freedom to express yourself, irrespective of what happens to what your actions can perform or do to yourself or to the people around you. You don't have to worry about anything at all. You are not obliged to anybody at all. Live for yourself. Live fully for yourself. To the extent that agar while you're living, you even injure someone else or you even harm someone else, there is no problem with it. If such is a thinking, first I'll pause here. Do we identify that thinking? Do we have friends and families, or have we heard it somewhere? That outlook to life, which directs their actions, which directs their relationships, which directs the friends, which directs everything that they acquire in life, which directs the direction of their life. Is that thinking identifiable? Yeah. So that thinking in technical term, Vedic term, in Vedic paribhasha, are called Charvakas. Charvakas, vak means bolna. Char represents charu, pleasing. What is pleasing to one's senses? Living a life that is pleasing to oneself alone. So that word, even if we don't, it just represents that thinking. जो इतने शब्दों में हमने कही, and it can be much more multiplied. All that thinking is condensed in that one word, Charvaka. So when that word is used, it brings into the context this class of thinking. And it can belong to us also. It can belong to me also. There may be aspect of me that thinks like that. So what Shastra does is, it brings these thinking into perspective where it is relevant and unfolds it clearly so that we identify that thinking either around us or within ourselves. Purva Mimamsaka is a word representing a class of thinking. What is that thinking? It comes from the Vedic following. They completely, strongly adhere to it. And they accept that Veda is an authority in itself. And that entire Veda is in one bhag. It only has one vakya. It only has one context. There is no division in Veda. There is no Uttar bhag and Purva bhag. Nothing. Ved ek hi hai. Everything written in it pertains to only one topic. Yes, they also accept higher gati. They also accept evolution of your own being, spiritual aspect of your life. But they say Veda gives karmas for that. And you don't need anything else. And completely, there is no need to posit any Ishvara or the fact that karma phal can come from another uncertain source. Karma certainly will give you a phal. There is no uncertainty to it. We bring in Ishvara because we see an uncertainty to it. According to them, there is absolute no uncertainty. कर्म करोगे फल मिलेगा ही मिलेगा. That's it. So there's no confusion. You want to get something, do certain karmas. There is a law within that. That aspect that they remove completely. Nirishwaravadi, without Ishvara. Absolutely no Ishvara. There are a lot of, even in modern times now, modern is of course not reference to. Even now, there will be many deep study of Vedanta where Ishvara is removed from your life. Even in Vedanta, Ishvara is not a necessary aspect. Just Vedanta padho, Shravan karo, Manan karo, Nididhyasan karo, moksha ho jayega. Which means what? Which means now you have removed one huge aspect of introduction of Ishvara in your life, whether in the name of Vedanta or as karmatha. If you have removed Ishvara from your life, it can be at any stage. It is a nirishwaravadi. Vadi means jo bolta hai. That means you want to live your life, conduct your life in the absence of Ishvara. आपकी जिंदगी में उसकी कोई अहम मतलब there is no need. Your intellect appreciation of it is not there. Intellectual appreciation of it is not there. Your intellect in fact says there is just no need for Ishvara. According to them, then what is moksha? Purva Mimamsaka say, moksha is eternal. Eternal means what? It is Atmani Avasthanam. It is already there. मोक्ष जैसा कोई चीज नहीं है. आत्मा is already there. You are all, मतलब they won't say you are already that. It is already in avasthiti. It is already a state of your being which is always there by itself. Atmani, by itself. Swatmani. By itself, it is an avastha. Moksha is an avastha by itself. How do you get back to it? How do you achieve it? How do you get it? You get it by balancing your karma. This I want to say very clearly as much as possible. Purva Mimamsaka, I'm just repeating myself. Remove the word. Identify the thinking. That thinking is that whatever it be, karma से ही सब कुछ चलता है. That कर्म ही अपने आप में आपको मोक्ष तक ले जाएगा. कर्म मोक्ष देता है. In other words, कर्म will give you moksha. Then how will karma give you moksha? Balancing your karma gives you moksha. What do you mean by balancing karma? If you remember, how many of you remember? Just for my own, doesn't matter if you forget, but just for my own sake. Remember? Sanchit? Great. Thank you. So I will not repeat too much about it. Also here I want to point out, see, this is the reason why it's a graded knowledge. What you've learned before will be carried forward and more depth will throw into it. So by the time you finish Upadesa Sara, Tattvabodh and Upadesa Sara, that knowledge will go into your third text. So there is a carry forward. So the idea will build up. Now, what are the three karmas that we saw that are based on time? Agami, Sanchit and Prarabdha karma. Agami karma in Tattvabodh was seen in the context of an enlightened person, Jivan Mukta. कि जीवन मुक्त होने के बाद अब जो भी वो कर्म करता है वो कर्म आगामी है. And that was in the conclusion part of karma. But avidya se means, forget avidya word. In our life transaction, there is a karma being done. Purva Mimamsaka would say that this karma is getting added. We also accept. Forget any school at this point. कर्म से जिंदगी चलती है और उसे जैसे करते हैं वो संचित कर्म बनते रहते हैं, कलेक्ट होते रहते हैं. There is a collection, there is a body of collection. There is a collection, that happens of your own karmas. In totality, they keep adding sanchit karma. From that bundle of sanchit karmas, sanchit meant collected. Word itself is telling us what it means. Ikattha kiya hua. Apna, when in olden days it is a more relevant example, when things were less that we held, अपना एक जगह से दूसरी जगह ना जस्ट वो कपड़ों में ही बांध देते थे, अपना एक पोटली बना के अपना टंगा के चल पड़ते थे ना. कलेक्शन ऑफ ऑल दैट यू हैव, दैट पोटली इज संचित, दैट कर्मों का संचित. फ्रॉम दैट small part of it would manifest as prarabdha karma. This much we have done. This prarabdha karma means what? That karma which has manifested to give us a body, acquire a body, and that binds you. Now you have identified with the body. It is, you've acquired a body with the help of your karma, and now you're bound to this body, till death at least. So what will happen between birth and death of the body? You've already acquired it. There'll be more acquisition of karma or something about that. This is where Purva Mimamsaka thinking comes now. As long as you have a physical body, you are subject to have priya and apriya anubhav. अच्छा लगता है कुछ और अच्छा कुछ नहीं लगता. Something I like, something I don't like. This experience of priya and apriya, ये मुझे पसंद आया, ये मुझे बिल्कुल अच्छा नहीं लगता. And in a day, if you observe, it's when I start taking classes, I feel, oh, there are so many workshops you can do. If in a day you just observe how many statements we make, just make it. There are reactions in us all the time. I don't like this. I like this. मुझे पसंद नहीं है. थोड़ा थोड़ा अच्छा है. नहीं है, बिल्कुल भी अच्छा नहीं है. इसको हम avoid नहीं कर सकते. क्या हम इसको, I really like it. Can I not take it? The minute you say like or dislike, अंदर अपने देखो क्या होता है. There is no day that can go. There is nothing that can happen in a day without your conclusion of it as like or dislike. Priya hai ya apriya hai. Which is amounting to sukh hai ya dukh hai. This is called samsara. That sukh and dukh that we experience in a life is called samsara. What is the Purva Mimamsaka's formula? I'm using the word formula. Unka outlook kya hai to give a moksha? They say that to get released from acquiring a body, aage, that you should not have another body, is called moksha. What should you do? Use karma. Balance your karmas in such a way that when you die in this life, your account will have zero karma. And because it will have zero karma, there'll be no birth. Simple. That means in this life, what should you do? You should be so diligent. They don't use all these words. According to them, their conviction is that you should use your life to balance your karmas. Balance word I am using in specific to mean something now that I will elaborate. You have to balance your karma. So that हिसाब है ये. जो मरोगे जब भी मरो, which means I can die next moment. When I die, my account should hold zero karma. Now what are the karmas? That collection, sanchit karma that we have collected. How will we balance them? We balance them by the entire karmas that have been given in the Vedas, by doing these karmas every day. What are these karmas? Nithya karma, naimittika karma. Did we do this before? No, I thought so. Nithya, so this is another division now today I'm introducing. In the context of these people who believe that only these karmas are going to be relevant. And this is very important a point. If you pick this up, you will begin to understand Bhagavad Gita and you will begin to understand Karam Yoga and even the third verse of this book. What is Nitya Karma? according to Vedas, karma part, you have to do certain karmas every day. Every day or regularly. Nithya. Nithya means compulsory. Nithya means you cannot use your choice there. मेरी मर्ज आज मन नहीं कर रहा, आज नहीं करूं चलेगा. If there's a karma that is said that you have to do at sunrise, I got up late, अब कर लो. कर सकते हो, but as per whatever. Nitya karma by definition means those karmas that you have to do without choice. As ordained, it is the certain karmas daily, Nitya karmas. Themselves now, because of so much dilution of the lifestyles, Shastra, dhire dhire, kind of, these karmas are divided into Shrauta karmas and Smarta karmas. Shrauta means exactly as said in the Vedas. Nitya karmas would mean something like you have heard often, Sandhya Vandanam, Aupasanam. Aupasana means once you are married because of the fire ritual, that fire ritual is carried back, fire is carried back home. For the rest of your life, you have to keep offering something in that fire which was ignited at during your marriage, around which you took feras with the mantras. So now that fire has to be kept alive till you die. And every day you have to give some oblations into this, Aupasanam. Then there are certain deities that you worship every day, give offerings every day, etc. And then there are certain naimittika karmas like Shraddha, like eclipse. They come because of an occasion. They are occasional karmas, but they are also compulsory. You don't have a choice there. So these nitya naimittika karmas, if you do, this thinking people argue. They say, doing your karmas, they do not produce any new result. These karmas will not give you any new result. They will help you to neutralize your previously acquired wrong results or any karma, but naya kuch phal nahi dete hai. Plus, there are other two set of categories of karmas, kamya karma and nishiddha karma. Kamya karma means those karmas that you do for fulfilling desire, as the word says. So, agar aapko barish chahiye, so there's a particular karma. Aapko son chahiye, to beta chahiye, to there is a karma. Putra kameshti, whatever you want, wealth, there is a karma. You want fame, there is a karma. You want beauty, there is karma. There are karmas for intelligence, etc. Means intelligence is just a word, means buddhi ka vikas ho. So do this karma, do this. These are kamya karmas, but you have a choice there to do or not to do. बहुत अगर इच्छा है to do them. If you don't want, don't do them. But nitya naimittika karma, you have no choice. So kamya karmas means desire fulfilling karmas. They will fulfill your desires. Nishiddha karma means those that you were not supposed to do. Karmas, certain karmas that you are not supposed to do. Like what? Like kill someone else. Like you are not supposed to steal. You're not supposed to develop too much of jealousy, hatred, envy, lying, be truthful. So all those karmas that you're not supposed to do, but you did. So to counter them, there are other set of karmas that you will have to do. Because आपने अब वो कर्म कर लिया जो आपको नहीं करना चाहिए था, तो अब उसका फल आने के पहले do some karma that will neutralize that. It's quite a hectic life. If anybody follows Mimamsakas, a big reason why it is not there seen, because Vedic outlook itself is gone. We are all now scientific minded, commercial minded. The whole focus has shifted. But it is not irrelevant. You will see how it's relevant in time. That these people say this thinking says these people means it could be us also. That we say, when we say, if we say that Nishiddha Karam, implying that I did something which I was not supposed to do, that means I have already accrued a certain papam. So I will have to do something else. So according to Purva Mimamsaka, you should not engage in kamya and nishiddha karma. Means जो कहा है कि नहीं करना तो मत ही करो. Do not suram na pibet, means do not drink alcohol. So do not even taste it. If you would taste it also, you say नहीं एक drop में क्या जाता है? I'm not going to get intoxicated by one drop. Oh, you've broken the rule. If you've broken the rule, now you will have to do a counter. There's a word for it. You will have to do a counter to balance the effect of having broken the rule. It's a rule, you can't break it in that sense. So do not do kamya and nishiddha karma. So if you will not do kamya and nishiddha karma, what will happen? You will not accrue any more papam. Now see the formula. In a lifetime, if you just stick to nitya naimittik karma and do not do kamya and nishiddha karma, by the end, नित्य नैमित्तिक पूरा जन्म करोगे तो हो गया ना संचित का देह से it will get balanced off because you've not acquired anything new. It is your collected only that you came with. That's it, gone now. And you were so careful that you did not do any prohibitory action or any desired action. Therefore, there is nothing carrying forward now. It will go away. Now there is another important point they add, which I think makes everybody a very strong, जो मानते हैं इतना ही जिसको ज्ञान है वो फिर इस बात को पकड़ के बैठ जाते हैं, because this next point of theirs introduces fear somewhere. That if you will not do your नित्य नैमित्तिक कर्मा, उसका नया फल तो नहीं आएगा, मगर नहीं करने का फल आएगा. You get the point? करके तो कुछ नहीं मिलेगा, सिर्फ बैलेंस आपका पुराना खत्म होएगा, मगर नहीं करोगे तो अब फिर से जुड़ जाएगा. और क्या जुड़ेगा? There is a omission का एक पाप है of having not done what you are supposed to do. You will incur a पाप, a sin not a sin. You will incur a counter result, and that counter result is called pratyavaya papam. It is not one papam. It's not one it's made of three words, prati, ava, aya. Prati means regarding which, opposite direction, ulta. Ava means adho, lower. Aya means, aya is gamanam, going. So you will incur a fruit to yourself, a पाप हो जाएगा जिसका फल आपको आपकी गति में नीचे ले जाएगा. It will devolve you. It will take you to lower births. This pratyavaya papam means it will create more cycles. Vedanta इसको थोड़ा अलग देखता है, but अभी I don't want to confuse. We are sticking to Purva Mimamsaka. This is their view. And remember, this is their view. Means this kind of a thinking which will say karmas are everything, stick to doing your karma, don't miss your, that those fanaticism and adherence strongly जो आ गया था हमारी society में ही आ गया था, because of which the minute we got our freedom, independence, like a hot pancake we dropped, and our policies also changed, governmental policies, everything moved into becoming an open society. And the entire benefit that was to accrue of it, yes, there is a, I'm not saying the whole of it is good, but that if it continued, it could have been corrected. गलत चीज को ठीक करना ठीक है, लेकिन आप छोड़ ही दोगे तो उसको फिर से इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं कर सकते. आप करते करते गलत रास्ते निकल गए, तो आप अपना रास्ता बदल के सही रास्ते आ सकते हो, मगर अगर आपने चलना ही बंद कर दिया उस रास्ते, तो अब आप वापस नहीं चल पाओगे उस रास्ते. So there's a gap. It's a generational difference that happens. Now the generation cannot adapt itself because the older generations lost it. That's the societal effect. But according to them, this pratyavaya papam keeps you back in the samsara gati. So मोक्ष के क्या 3 बातें हैं? Basically 2 ही हैं, but the counter of it is do your nitya karma, naimittik karma. जो कहा है, that means if it's amavasya, you have to do. If it is paunamashi, you have to do. If it is whatever karmas, according to your state and class of life, there's certain ordained things. Stick to them. Don't mess. Don't use your choice. And even if you are, there are karmathas. There are people who will believe even when till the last time, even till that point of your last breath, you have to continue doing it. Even if you're ill, even if you're unwell, and you see a lot of people in our society, still the older generation still follows it somewhere. Some of them, you may have seen your grandparents having done this. Stick to it. छोड़ते नहीं वो फिर उसको. डरते हैं कि हम छोड़ देंगे तो पता नहीं क्या अधोगति हो जाएगी. And nobody wants bad experience to their life. So, this is the Mimamsaka's thinking. Now, let's move forward. We did the verse where we said there are 5 factors, Gita has told us, that go towards making an efficient karma. For any successful karma. What are the 5 factors? Adhishthana means sharir. Karta, the doer. Karanam means instruments. Prithak vidham, various instruments. Vividhaha prithak cheshta, various efforts, pranic efforts, and all various kinds of efforts that we put in. Daivam, 5th factor. Now leave that aside for now. We look at the cycle. It's a very interesting cycle. You can pick up at any point though, but we will pick up at the point when you get up in the morning, just when you've opened your eye, जैसे आँख first खुलती है, the state of your mind, what is it? Even if you've had a good sleep, you're peaceful, you're relaxed, doesn't matter. But एकदम से मन में क्या आता है? Even if you've done your prayers, it doesn't matter all that. But क्या आता है?
I think you start thinking about what is to be done during the day.
The minute you've identified with the body, उठते ही, you find some sort of a restlessness in your mind. I couldn't bring in all those words here, but you find some sort of a restlessness in your mind. थोड़ा बेचैन, थोड़ा हलचल, थोड़ी. Even if you've slept very well and you've woken up happy, you've done your prayers, फिर भी, if you're observant, it is a state of mind which is not feeling purna. Purna means complete. Are you able to hear banging also? I'm sorry. Our Shanti was not good enough. It was not loud enough to keep them quiet.
But it's clear, you are audible.
Oh, chalo, that's fine then. That mind of one's is, that bechain. Thoda sa. Khush to, even if you are very happy, I'm saying. Satisfied being. Tript being. Even then, there is this little, it's like this. कुछ अंदर ऐसे से मन में चलता रहता है. There are thoughts that are just constantly going. If you observe the state of just before those thoughts, you will feel they are emerging from some sense of a void, a sense of incompleteness. They are there, as if you are missing something, FOMO. I'm missing something. I need to get something. I need to become something. I need to be happy. I need to get away with something. कुछ करूं मैं, कुछ this various thoughts. But the nature of those thoughts will come from a sense of a void, khalipan, a sense of incompleteness, apurnata. You're not feeling fulfilled. Even if you're happy, there is a sense of थोड़ी कमी, कुछ मिस हो रहा है, कुछ कमी है, कुछ बदलना चाहिए, कुछ, that little is enough. That sense of a void, observe, comes up as desire. कुछ करूं, कुछ बनूं, कुछ चाहिए. Kama. There is a desire that comes up. That desire now itself is a mental state of activity. मन में एक विकार हो गया है. The minute there is a desire, आपके मन में एक विकार आ गया है. विकार, you understand the word vikar? There is a change that has happened. Before, there was a void, a state of incompleteness. And then एक इच्छा जागी. उत्पन्न अपने आप हो गई. आपको कुछ करना ही नहीं पड़ा. You just found yourself having desire for something or the other. That desire is now a state of change in your mind. It's your mind itself. It's a thought change. From incompleteness, now the thought has changed. Your mind has changed. विकार हुआ है और अब मुझे चाहिए या मुझे कुछ करना है. That desire is now going to prompt you to karma. तब तक अब आ गया ना विकार, अब ये वापस अपनी शांति में अपने आप से तो जाएगा नहीं. Either you have to make it quiet by thinking, which is a different process, or now, depending on the strength of your desire, हाथ पैर मारना शुरू कर दोगे, कुछ ना कुछ करोगे, शरीर से जुड़ के कर्म में लग जाओगे. एंड कर्म के लिए यू विल नीड सम इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स, मीन्स साधन चाहिए. जो मुझे चाहिए उसके अकॉर्डिंगली साधन को अक्वायर करने में लग जाओगे. So if I have to take a class, supposing it's a karma for me, if I have to take a class, then I need my internet, I need my laptop, I need and now I need lights also, special lights, studio lights. Why? Because acquisition of पूरा संसार खुल गया एक. So what are you now? Because to do the karma, you need acquisition. Without it, you can't do a karma. So now what has happened here? Avoid, desire, karma, acquisition of means. All of this has now identified as the karta. The whole thing is a jiva, individual, उसी के अंदर हो रहा है, identified with your body. But that void, desire, karma, and the fact that I am busy acquiring the means for it, this, if you make a slash here, from void to इधर अगर आप एक diagonal draw करोगे, this is karta. This karta, idea of that karta is what? ये जो मेरा खालीपन है, void है, as if it should go reverse. अगर मुझे कर्म करके कुछ मिलेगा और उस मिलने से क्या होगा? मेरा ये void चला जाएगा. I'll get the fruit. कर्म का मुझे फल मिलेगा. That फल makes me happy. Yes, it makes me happy for some time. Temporary. And that happiness is going to remove my void. Because now I'm happy. Now I don't have a void. You get this point? So once I am happy by fulfilling my desire, I will now be आनंदित, no? मजे में, always मजे में. But what happens? Because that was temporary, I again get up another day, maybe after a week or after 2 weeks. This is all hypothetical. We know it happens every day and every moment. But chalo, for argument's sake, hypothetical. After a week, again I find myself in void. अब फिर मेरी जिंदगी में कुछ उलट पुलट हो रहा है, अब फिर वैसा नहीं जा रहा जैसे जाना चाहिए था, अब फिर पता नहीं, some desire or the other is again getting interrupted. So now from phala, I want to experience that happiness. I am a bhokta. Bhokta means I'm an enjoyer. So I am a karta and I am a bhokta. This karta and bhokta are two sides of a coin, which is called jivatvam. I should have added jivatvam, the state of being a jiva. It is jivatvam. Lakshana of jivatvam is karta and bhokta in a cycle. See that? Void, apurnata, kama, karma, phala. Temporary sukha, again dukkha. Incompleteness. Now here if you look, this is what the Purva Mimamsaka sees as a cycle. So what does a Mimamsaka say? You ignore everything. Desire se to kaam karo hi mat, kamya karam karna nahi. वेदा ने कहा है निषिद्ध कर्म उनको करो ही मत, जो उन्होंने कहा है मत करो तो करो ही मत. सारा कर्म अपना नित्य और नैमित्तिक में ही करो. That's it. So whatever you have to do these karmas, whatever else. And the phal of this you will not get. So dheere dheere, by the end of your life, gone. Balanced. What is that called? In account ke books mein kuch hota hai na? Balance sheet? What is it? Accounts keep that. Year ending
balance
mein
the
you
accounts.
have
Yeah, you balance the
okay.
accounts.
Balance the accounts, okay.
And economics
So
we say equilibrium.
Oh,
In economics
okay.
we say equilibrium. Like
Chalo,
when
great.
demand and
Same
supply
thing.
are equal to each other.
हाँ. So that exactly. That equilibrium is what Mimamsaka says, do with your karmas. Do not reconcile the expenditure and the income and balance it off. Bring it to zero. You owe nothing, nobody. That kind.
Yeah,
Now
reconciliation is the right term.
tally is the right word. You tally it. Correct. You tally your records. Now here we said, you saw the karta now in this. Adhishthan means sharir ke saath jud gaya. Karta, the minute the void is there, karta ban gaya. Karanam, all this means and instruments, busy, various karanam, various efforts, identified. Where is daivam here now? How will you account for daivam here? And here comes the whole important point. I have forgotten what this. According to them, this cycle was enough to give you moksha. But according to Siddhanti, means a Vedantin here, when your thinking matures a little more, and you say, but where has the void come from? Did the void come from karma? I was born with it. That means इस जन्म में मैं लेके आई हूं. But where has the void come from? What is the cause of the void? When you ask the cause of the void, why am I feeling this? Ved itself in its Vedantic portion says, avidya is the cause of your calm. Now, so the minute you go a little more into Ved, supposing, if you go just a little ahead of that portion of where, karma ke baare mein sab correct hai, wo galat nahi hai. But it's limited. And majority of the people are going to spend their life thinking this is ultimate. But if you explore a little, my best example always has been anybody who's gone to Gangotri. When you go to Gangotri, You just feel, there must be more examples. I only know about Gangotri because I've only been there. Gangotri, you travel from Haridwar, Rishikesh, Uttarkashi, and it's a certainly beautiful journey up to Gangotri, said to be where the Gangotri temple is there. From there, before I went there, I was under the impression that that would be the starting point of Ganga, and I was curious. I wanted to know, itna suna hai. But that's just a temple constructed to worship Ganges. But there is another more chota path, small, not man-made trail that goes up to Gomukh. It's actually the same road extension. Gangotri, then Gomukh. Gomukh, you can't go straight. It's just a cave from where probably the water is trickling out. It's a glacier melting which is trickling out from the entry of that up to that point man can reach. Anybody gone in the cave hasn't come back. So you do not know from where that water is trickling. Which glacier is melting? You haven't been able to figure it out yet because nobody survives coming out then. So far, that's what I understand. So now Gomukh is the point, but that is traveled by lesser people. It's almost a day extra trekking up. So not many people take that because they go to the temple, do the worship, and they come back. Karma part. What is attractive in Veda? What attracts a person's attention in Veda immediately holds you is seeing that you will become fulfilled. Results. So even if it means I live a difficult life, very diligent life based on karma, I will still do it because it promises me something, certainly. So most of it will get attracted to it. But if you want to explore further, anybody who, because you have lived a diligent life, Shastra says, you may develop a certain jignasa, a vivek buddhi will develop. और तुम पूछोगे ये एंडलेस है, ये कब तक चलेगा? मतलब पूरा लाइफ ऐसा, there must be something, some sort of a question will come. When that is addressed, Vedanta starts entering a person, that portion of Veda, which is also relevant, but it's talking a totally different language. It is not talking the language of karma at all. It is saying something completely different. Upanishads, our topic of Upanishad is different. And what is it saying? It's saying as long as you have avidya, so long, kama karma prayuktaha, you are going to be always with kama, some form of the desire. Ek puri hoegi, dusri aa jayegi. This cycle cannot be cut because the origin of the cycle is avidya and not previous acquired karma. You see a subtle difference? Should I repeat this? Anybody? Repeat it? The difference is kama karma prayuktaha. You will always remain engaged in some desire-ridden activity or the other. Your desires cannot stop. You will form, even if you do your Nitya Naimitika karma and not develop any desire, unknowingly you will develop. It's a hypothetical statement to say that I will not have, repeating. It will be a hypothetical thing to say that I will not have any desires in my entire life. It's not hypothetical. It's an assumption. Even before you have come to your cognition, you would have developed desires. Even before you have come to the recognition of this lifestyle, you would have come to your desires. You would have had desires. So, kama karma prayuktaha, which are the cause of, now we have seen clearly, janma and marana, acquiring a new body. This cycle is not initiated by your previously acquired karma alone. You acquired your previous karma also because of avidya, being persistent there. Now you see the subtle point? Purva Mimamsaka says, ये जन्म मुझे पिछले कर्मों से मिला है, तो अगर मैं इस जन्म में अपने कर्म ठीक रखूं और जीरो कर दूं बैलेंस को, if I tally it, I'll acquire no more new karmas. Then obviously, if I live a life of, my entire sanchitam will go away. And this is how they think. There's a beautiful argument. As you keep advancing in your Vedantic study, the same point will keep getting more and more maturity. How Shankara in his bhashyams will demolish this. And the purpose of demolishing, I want to very clearly specify and very loudly. It is not to demolish intellectually someone. Unless and until we demolish these things in ourselves, Atma Nishtha cannot take place. Vedanta का purpose है आत्मनिष्ठ होना, आत्मज्ञान निष्ठ होना. अविद्या को काटना है, means if you have to burn, you have to address avidya, means gain vidya. Once you have Atma Vidya, then automatically the cycle is going to change. How to change that cycle is a whole process of evolution, growth, self-growth. So, yeah. And I'll take a break.
Okay. So, can we say, because I mean, the void was there, and even if we do the Nithya karma and we don't get a result, but that obviously doesn't help the void. The void is
Correct.
Still there.
Correct. So according to them, karma says it is just there, just you don't have to pay attention to it, according to them. उसको देखने की क्या आप कर रहे हो ना जो आपको करना चाहिए. That's good enough. So why give importance to the void? And this is very important if you understand. आगे जाके आपको इतना, it's like something just splits open in yourself because you just understand that these are two totally different ways I can choose to live a life. This is not mechanical knowledge. If I follow this thought, my whole life can go. If that's fine by me, that's okay. At least whatever is good in Veda, the entire karmkand is not negated. There is good in it also. Whatever is good, you will get it. But if the point is moksha, the difference is only moksha का कारण क्या है? क्या ये करके मोक्ष मिलेगा? कि विद्या is going to demolish avidya. जब जड़ ही खत्म हो गई, so what will happen to kama karma prayuktah janma marana? That's samsara. So the top line, I didn't have space there, so I want to say it, is how Vedanta sees it. If you remove this avidya, kama karma prayuktah janma marana pravaha, samsara is also valid. Do you see the validity? According to them, if you just start from, say, desire, I do desire, I have karma, I do karma, I get phala, I get happy, and then I feel unhappy again, dissatisfied, incomplete. So I have another desire, again karma, then again phal, milega, nahi mil, etc. Okay? So far clear? Is that okay? So far clear? Now comes Daivam, and then we will start the first verse. That Daivam still has to be addressed. Now, a very simple common sense. Where do you get the capacity to act from? ये जो कर्म करने की शक्ति आती है ना, इवन इच्छा बनने की, मेरे में इच्छा आई, Where is it coming from? ये कर्म करने की जो एक capacity है, a human being has a very unique capacity. They can do karma, and it's a very big thing in the entire creation. This capacity no other life form has. That is why कर्म कांडी holds it so dear. जिसको ये बात इतनी भी समझ में आती है, वो अपने कर्मों में mess नहीं करते कभी भी. They don't mess it up. Because they take care not to mess it up. उसके बावजूद हो जाता है, that's a different matter. That's not so important. But who gives that capacity to act? That's one point. Can you attribute that capacity to your jivatvam? Am I the origin of that capacity to act? So you can safely say, go very logically. You can safely say, I do not know where I have this capacity from. Is that a correct statement? I don't know, but I find myself, and not only myself, I find all human species have that capacity. How we use it is up to us. The minute you have a human form of a body, male or female, doesn't matter, any form of a human body, it is 100% there that you have a given capacity to act. There is no two debates on it. But I don't know from where this capacity comes. Leave it there. Second thing, phala, fruit, after my best action. And that is why that story became so important. Karmatha cannot think that the karma will not give phal according to what it's ordained. So that story, Shiva is trying to teach those householder rishis who were, so strongly adherent. And kuch bhi wo karam karte, there was no asar on Shiva. He brought that aspect of uncertainty. It's a story to say, there is an uncertainty to phal. There is something else which seems to be controlling. When will I get that result? It's not written in karma. Itna karke milega. When will I get? How much of it will be correct? That uncertainty regarding phal we all know. मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा कितना मिलेगा कैसे मिलेगा कब मिलेगा किस हालत में मिलेगा मांगा क्या था मिला क्या है so many such factors are there. So the uncertainty of phal, I do not know what controls this. In spite of my best actions, I know sometimes things have gone wrong. So supposing me I had given my 100% best in teaching, it can still go wrong. There'll still be some people who will say, "Pata nahi," or everything can go wrong. Whatever, what is that law? Murphy's law. What can go wrong will go wrong. Something like that. There is no. What is anything can happen. That anything can happen is one thing. Second thing is, when the result comes, it as if it comes at the right time. उसके पहले नहीं था. Result उसी को कहते हैं ना जो एक time पे mature होके आता है. It was not there a moment before. It comes at a time. Results manifest at a time. Some of us who married our own partners, supposing chose our own partners, if you go look back, how did you meet that person? It fascinates me all the time. 1 minute before that, नाम पता नहीं है उस इंसान का आपके जीवन में. और एक क्षण ऐसा आ गया कि अब पूरा जीवन उस नाम पते के साथ रहेगा. You can't undo it. कर्म फल एक वक्त पे आया. Who controls that time? Who's governing that factor? कहां से इतना precision के साथ फल आता है? Why is there no chaos? And much more. That factor which we cannot determine, and I will be loud, I will be clear about this because it needs to be taken as is. You cannot determine one aspect of what influences your life. There seems to be more factors, and you cannot determine that. That factor is Daivam. It is called a name. It is given a name Ishvara. I'm going to complete this topic here, 5 minutes more. That name, Daivam, is more from the standpoint, say, from Karmatha's point. All karmas were put in Agni. And Agni was supposed to be a Devta also and takes it to its respective departments. Delivers it to the respective department. जिसके नाम पे आपने डाली है oblation, वो उसको, it's like a postman. You know, goes and delivers it to whichever, blah, blah, wherever. Now, whatever karma you are doing, this is a big eye-opener. Be careful in listening. Whatever karma, even here I am doing, forget Vedic karma. ये कर्म जाता कहाँ है? Who is the receiver of this karma? In Vedic karma, it becomes clear because वो लिखा है इस भगवान को, it's deity, उस deity, fire को, space. Okay, they are gods you've associated. But if you have removed completely and you are still doing karma in your life for your bread and butter, निरीश्वरवादी होके भी कर्म तो कर रहे हो, उल्टा ज्यादा कर रहे हो. How dynamic people have become today. Because if you don't feed your desires, you don't feed a lifestyle, you don't feed your comforts that your family needs, your friends need, etc. So you have to work very hard. This karma is going where? So in the context of Veda, it's very clear. Every karma done is received at some point. And where it is received, the receiver of it, it's like saying if I put my money in bank, कोई receive कर रहा है ना, but the minute I've put it there, it's not in my hand. It's in my name, but it's not in my hand. The physical money that I put there is no longer actually mine. And it never was even before, but that's besides the point. In the context it's not mine nowhere is it mine, but it is in my name. When that karma was done, whichever karma you do, that is in your name now. The initiator is here. But once this initiator is here, where has this karma been received? Where it is received, from there it comes modified with your collection of karma and the result comes according to that from there. And that place is called Ishvara. It's a name of that phenomenon which cannot be determined as a sensory activity, but can be inferred because it verifies with your experience. That Ishvara, Phaladata, it's called Phaldata. That Ishvara is the fifth factor of action. Because he receives it, there is a receiver of it. Every karma, even if you think you've done it for yourself, it is received. The best example is when you offer a flower to a wave. तो शास्त्र में सुना, जब आप गंगा की आरती करते हो, गंगा की उपासना करते हो, गंगा जब जाते हो, and you see people, even if you don't do, you see people worshipping, and they offer a flower. They've offered at a point. But who's receiving it? Is it the wave that received it? Wave was non-separate from water. So even if you put it at a wave, the receiver is water. And in the example of Ganges, I want to take it back. If you have put it in water, in Ganges, Ganga received it. What is the origin of Ganga ascribed to? शिव जटा. गंगा का ओरिजिन कहाँ है? शिव जटा. शिव का ओरिजिन कहाँ है? निर्गुणम. I'm jumping steps for ease. That flower done here has gone all the way back because they're all non-separate from each other. They're not broken. This is how Veda sees creation. And this is why we become inclusive even in our society. We are not able to separate ideologies, etc. Is that okay? I think I'll end here for now today. This much here that we have brought in the factor of Daivam. And there is a little more tomorrow. I'll continue from there. And then starts the first verse. And in a very simple way, you will understand all of this in one line that Ramana will put it in. So we will end. Can someone please chant this? Priyanka, you started. So.
Om Sarvesham Tirбhavatu Sarve Sarvesham Sarve 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 Trani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayanta Nyayena Margena Mahi Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Chobharahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Om Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow, then if you have any questions, we'll take it up.
Thank you.